once again. And for those of you that have been tuning in to these interviews, you will know that I have been busily interviewing amazing people that I know. And this week we have a very special guest. Now, I just want to give you some idea of what she actually does in the world by listing just some of her titles. She is the CEO of Modern Mystery School, Western World Daughters, Lineage Wicker Plate holder, member of the Council of 12, chief alchemist in North America, owner of Rosarium Laboratories, to name but a few, and also a wife and mother. Welcome, Davina Lanyon.
Thank you so much, Kate. It's exciting to be here.
Now, I just want to share a little bit of a secret with everybody, if you don't mind, Davina Franca, because we have been busily trying to get you on this show for quite some time, and you have been extremely busy. Yes. So we've managed to squeeze it in right now. And of course, there's been a build-up of us trying to get you onto the show. So I have had lots of people asking me so many questions. We've got a whole list of things. I'm afraid we're going to have to try and get through, if that's okay. So first of all, would you be able to share a little bit about your background and how you came to where you are today?
Definitely. Well, first off, thank you for having me. And yes, hopefully today in this short time, I can do my best to answer all your questions that you've received from various people around the world. So just quickly, just a short background. I come from an Italian background, grew up as a good Catholic, and prior to doing what I do now, I went to school for design and worked for various of different advertising agencies and pharmaceutical agencies. I was a junior art director there. I owned my own freelance design company for various of different designs. And that was in my 20s. And then I wanted more. I wanted more in life. So here I am. It led me to this, to here, where I am now in the Modern Mystery School, where I do various of different things. So, and I am happy to be here today, just to be a voice in the world and be on this mission of peace, and how I can help and how I can kind of bring my piece into it.
Well, we are very glad that we've got you here today, and I want to just fire these questions right at you. Okay. Now, lots of people, in a world today where we have this term goddess, and female rights, and we have all of these movements going on, we can see in the world that there's lots of different perspectives, let's say, on how a woman should be or act, and in the mystery school we certainly have that goddess energy that we bring in. And I would like to start off and ask is, why is the goddess energy important? What does it bring to the world?
Yes, interesting. That's a wonderful question, because there is, especially now in a time of our life, what is happening on our planet, and especially the movements that are happening and that women are, yes, seeking empowerment, but there is many ways we can do that, and I too am definitely about women's empowerment, having that individuality, having that self-sufficiency. About holding in strength, about being in your own power. So I'm all about that. And I wanted to say that off right off the bat, because there may be some things in here that you don't agree with. And that is okay. That is okay. But we are here to work this all out. There's not only one way, and there's not going to be a perfect way, but there will be a correct way. And I hope for us women, us goddesses, will come to learn what that is as we muddle our way through this. So why is the goddess energy important? Well, we have a huge responsibility in life. We really do. I mean, all of us humanity do. But for us women, we have that leading energy. So for those of you that have never heard that before, we have the leading energy in this world, in this planet. And what that means is we can birth life. We can birth life. We can birth life and light on to this planet. And because we can do that, then we have that leading energy in the world. And does that mean we're special, more special? Does that mean we are more important than? So are we more special than a man? Are we more, are we more important than a man? It's not really about who is more important here. It's about the energy and what it's meant to do, and how it works differently between female versus a male. So if we were to take a look at it, so if we look at a male and female energy, the masculine energy operates within the boundaries and the parameters that of which a woman sets. Okay, so whatever the divine feminine sets up, that is in what the male masculine energy can operate in. So in other words, males can only operate on mass in ways that are permissible by a woman, by us. So if we were to look at it, we can look at it as, yes, because believe it or not, we each have a role on this planet. And if we were to look at it as an infinity loop, keeping that energy flowing, so the women, we receive this energy, and the male, they provide it. Now, when I say male and female, this is not about male and female relationship as a husband or boyfriend. This is whoever male you have in your life as a woman, as a goddess. And there's this infinity loop. And the women receive the energy, the men provides the energy, and the women receive it. We take it, we create it. We create something with that energy, and then we put it back out into the world. And then once it goes back out into the world, then it does what it needs to do. And what it does, it comes back. We take that energy again from the male, we receive it, and we create with it again. And so what does that mean? Does that mean that our actions are important? What we do with the things that we create, does it mean that it has no value? Does it mean that there's not a responsibility to it? No, this is where the power of the goddess is very responsible, is very powerful, and there is actual value to it. And we have to be careful in how we use it as well. Are we the sole, do we have sole responsibility? Is it all up to us? And no matter what anybody does around us that is not a woman, a goddess, does it matter what they do? And whatever we do is what matters. Is it all our responsibility? No, it's not all our responsibility. It's not. But we can't do it alone. So I'm going to speak to that later a little bit. I'm going to touch on it. We can't do it alone, but we set the tone. We set the tone. So if we set the tone, for example, of anger to any one thing, then the anger, then it will be, that is the tone of that any one thing, and it's going to go out that way. And then it's going to come back to us in the same way unless we decide to change it. Now, if we operate with kindness, then the kindness will be brought out there. If we are nurturing, it will be brought out there and it will come back. So because we are the leaders of setting things in tone, right? So we set it in tone, then it is very important. It is very important for us to know or be aware of what are we doing and what are we setting up and how are we doing it, with what actions, with what inactions. Okay, so it is important, and we do have a big role when it comes to what is happening in the world. Believe it or not. So within the construct of this divine feminine, that is part of our very flesh, that is part of our being. And this is for all the goddesses out there, this is either you are aware of it, either you have felt it, or you've never felt it, or have never known. What is part of us, we're born with it, is kindness, compassion, nurturing, caring, loving. We have that supportive energy, that energy that can bring in that joy. And we have, and this is the part where when we are setting the tone, what that means is we have that quiet strength that holds everything together. And I'm sure many of us goddesses out there, us women out there, have heard that, the woman holds it all together. And yes, there is truth to that. We do hold everything together. We are the container. We are this container, that vessel that holds it all together. And when that strength, that quiet strength is not there, when the container is not there, then the world falls apart. Because if we look at anything that happens in life, if there's not a foundation, if there's not anything holding that any one thing, it becomes very unstable.
So this is fascinating, because we really have, all of this ability to make huge changes immediately in our life and for everybody around us right away. So what then would it look like if the goddess energy isn't honored? Because I think we can see that in society. What does it look like if it's distorted or misused? I mean, how could that look in our daily lives, so people have got kind of a reference point?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, let me start off with this and kind of to loop in what I was saying before. So for us women, and I know some that are watching or hearing this, there's a mystery to us, right? There is a big mystery, and a lot of men out there would probably agree to that. We are mysterious beings, and absolutely, because at any given time we can change our mind, create whatever we want to create, do as we think is right, and a big long list of things. But when I say there's a mysterious part to us, and the mystery is we as women on a whole, and this amazing man in my life once told me this as we were discussing things of life. We lack this knowledge and the strength of understanding how powerful we are and how impactful it is of when we have certain actions or inactions. And I think for the goddess, I don't think they have realized that. Many women don't understand that power and how impactful it is to the world. And that is if you're working on something, and that is if you say one word, and that is if you walk into a room, that we don't even have to say anything. And that power is there or not there. But we do have that, because we set the tone, and because we are that container, and because we lead, and because we receive and we create and we give birth to, then there is a really big power within us. And we sometimes lack the understanding of that. And from that, we create certain actions or inactions that at times that are not always so positive, and that can actually do more harm than good. So for me, I think, and I'll get to your question in a moment, Kate, not everybody. So when I'm talking about the goddess, please understand, I'm not talking about everybody, but I am talking about a big percentage of what our world, our planet, the place that is in right now, maybe minus the pandemic, I'm not sure. But I think we've lost our way a little bit. I think we our light within us and within our heart is a little dim. And when I say that, again, it's not all women. It's not all goddesses. There is powerful goddesses that totally understand it. They're in their place. They're centered. And they're like, no, I get it. I know who I am, what I am, where I'm supposed to go, what I'm supposed to do, and how I'm supposed to be treated. And the list goes on. So we need to turn it around. We need to turn that part of us around so we can understand what our power can actually do. And that is within us. It's not out there. It's here. It's right here. So, there's a lot of sayings out there. There's many sayings when we talk about women and their energy and their power. Some of them are true and some of them are not. But, we have to turn that ship around, right? We're the captain of our own ship. So we have to turn it around. Because we kind of lost that way. So, and we need to make this one major constructive shift. This one thing that if we do not change it, nothing will change on this planet. Nothing will change. And that is, and we will continue, believe it or not, we will continue feeding the enemy on our planet, which is separation. And right now, I know we are fighting for rights. What is right? Right is wrong. We deserve this. We deserve that. Yes, we're in great power. Absolutely. But there's also a way of doing it. And when we do it, we have to be careful that we are not feeding the enemy. And right now, the enemy in our planet is separation. It is separation between women and men. It is separation between women and women. And when we bring up issues of the goddess, it's actually more of issues between the goddess versus another goddess. And so that one thing we need to shift, and that is developing the strength, developing that strength as a woman from hatred to love. Can we be angry? Yes. Are we not happy with world operations of all things on this planet? Perhaps. Yes, maybe some areas, maybe a little bit, maybe a lot. But if we are trying to change any one thing, then we need to come from a place, even though there might be upset, we need to come from a place and have the intent to change it with peace so we can have peace. Because if we look at it, we're not fighting for anger. We are fighting for peace. We're fighting for fairness. I call it fairness, not equality, fairness. That's what we're fighting for. If we look at these movements and all that kind of stuff. So, why are we not honored is a tricky, but not really tricky question. So, talking about the planet and where the world is right now, we have this very prominent movement. And I feel, and I think a lot of people agree with me in our world of take no responsibility. That is the movement. Take no responsibility. That is what we are feeding the soul of people in this world. I want the power. I want the freedom. I want the rights. I want the fairness. I want the expression. But I take no responsibility. And that's not a very good place for us to be in. That is not a very good place that if we are the leaders and we are the container that holds the light, that holds the children of Earth together, then we need to take responsibility. We need to take responsibility for our actions or our inactions, because from that, we can develop peace, unity, togetherness, love, that nurturing, that supportive, the long list of things. But we need to take responsibility. We can't sit here and say, well, I'm better than, so therefore I'm not taking any responsibility. Or I want to do all of this, but I'm not taking any responsibility. And this is what I mean by, losing our way. For some of us, we have lost our way to understand what that really means. So if we tie it back into what you were just talking about and mentioning and asking about honoring, what happens when the goddess energy is not honored? So first off, where does that honor come from? Where as a goddess, where does it come from? Where the goddess energy is not being honored, it is distorted, it is being misused, all these things that we may be feeling. Now, I'm going to separate this from the women that have had certain situations in their life, abusive situations, all these kind of things, because I don't condone that. I don't condone any of that. I don't condone it for a man. I don't condone it for a woman. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about that honoring of everyday life, that honoring of our actions, that honoring of who we are on this planet as a goddess. And the dishonoring is happening is because the goddess is allowing it. The goddess is allowing for dishonoring, right? In your question, dishonoring to happen. And why? So why is this, why do we feel maybe dishonored, or how come there's this distortion, or why there's a misuse? Is because we are not honoring ourselves. We are not understanding, again, that power. And what we do is we look out there for it. We try to search for it out there. We are trying to search of, oh, the honor is out there. I want someone to honor me. Great. But are you honoring yourself? I want someone to respect me. Awesome. Do you respect yourself? I want to have strength. Okay, great. So where are you going to get it from? It's not out there. So, so if we're asking for something, then we need to give it to ourselves first before we are wanting it from someone else. Because when we ask for it from someone else, it's not going to be enough. It's not going to fill that hole within us. And we're going to keep on asking. And when we keep on asking, it becomes more distorted. And when we keep on asking, we're going to get more confused, right? And then the story of it changes. And then we see this cycle of ourselves finding ourselves in sadness or in pain, or we've been hurt, or we find ourselves in lack of love, and all these things that we hear that many of us have all gone through once upon a time, maybe, or are at this moment. So we have to get it within ourselves. And when we do that, we will find that the people surrounding us will give us the very things that we are really wanting, because we are standing our ground with it. We're showing it. So what we show and put out is what's going to return.
I love that. It's, again, such a, a fundamental, basic teaching that we forget. And, you're just bringing it to our attention in that way. Just that responsibility lies within us. It's so powerful. And something you mentioned earlier, the goddess is all powerful and can do all of these amazing things. And we've got some men actually on the call, and I keep glancing over and they're making comments, woohoo, supporting and cheering us on from the sidelines. But, if a woman can do everything, a goddess can do everything, why is the masculine important? I mean, I see lots of women and they want to do everything, and then the men get confused. Is it positive that we do everything and we don't allow a man to do it, or is it, there seems to be a lot of confusion around that. How is that? Could you speak a bit about that?
Well, there's a lot to it. This is why there's so much confusion, right? Just to kind of end off from having that power, or that lack of understanding of that power within. When we have that power, so pure power, that pure power within us, and when I say pure power, because many people have this misconception of what power means. They think it's something negative. And it's not that. It is the strength of self, of who you are and why you came here. What is your purpose on this planet? And with that power within ourselves as goddesses, we will then be honored. But we have to allow it, because this is going to lead into the next thing. We have to allow that honor to take place. We have to allow that honor, number one, for ourselves, but we have to allow that honor to be honored by, say, a man, and we have to allow ourselves to be honored by a woman. We have to allow that, because if we keep on denying it, or if we keep on pushing it away, then we're only going to have the honor within ourselves and from nowhere else. Okay, so, and yes, that there is that movement as well. There's that movement of, hey, I don't want any responsibility. Again, that's coming from both men and women, but that movement of, and it actually makes me a little sad. It makes me a little sad, the movement of, we don't need men. So I don't really come from that thought process, and it actually didn't occur. It didn't occur to me to even think that way, or to come from that place. Maybe because I've always just had strong men in my life, and maybe my best friends were men because growing up, because they were actually less judgmental, and there was a less of a pressure to be around them. But can the goddess, can the goddess do everything and not really need the masculine energy around them, the male energy around? Okay, first off, let's begin with this. What is wrong? Okay, because again, the movement, there's so many movements. I think during this pandemic, it's the time of movements. And I do believe some of them, I really truly believe in my heart that some of them had the intent of good. And because we had this thing called the negative ego came into play, it kind of polluted things, I think. So first off, women can do everything. Okay, let's start here. Why is being a woman wrong? But also, why is being a man so wrong? Why? Why is it that these things are wrong? If we are trying to create fairness, because I don't like the word equal. Because Kate, I'm not equal to you. You're a tall, British, blonde, blue-eyed woman, and I am a short, darker skinned Italian woman. And that doesn't make me and you equal. We are different. But there can be a fairness between you and I when it comes to certain things. Yes? So, and no different between a man and a woman. So why is it so hard? Why is it so bad? Or what is so wrong to be a woman? And why is it so wrong to be a man? And why is it that we think with this behavior, because it is, I'm sad about it, because, I see a lot of comments online, on whatever platforms. I see movement of women marching down the street, and I see pictures, and we see them on TV, and we see them online. And why do we think that removing or denying an existence of another human being would bring us peace on earth, would bring us resolution, would bring us strength and inner power? Why do we think, if us goddesses are saying we don't need a man, why do we think from that very energy that we were born with and were meant to use so we can set the good tone on our planet, why do we think that denying another human being like a man on earth, on our planet, that have a role, ladies, have an important role to this all? And without them, no, we cannot create. We cannot create male, female. We need both. And again, this is not about marriage. This is not about boyfriend and girlfriend. This is about the existence of the feminine and the masculine energy on our planet. Okay. So can we do everything? That's interesting. Can the goddess do everything? Absolutely not. And I know, please, goddesses, forgive me, maybe don't forgive me, be mad at me, but truthfully, we can't do everything. Now, that is an illusion, but wait a minute, a man can't do everything. But a woman can't do everything. Why does a woman want to do everything anyways? Why do we want to do everything? What are we proving? What are we trying to prove? That we can multitask? Absolutely. Are we good multitaskers? Absolutely. There is more women out there that are better multitaskers than a man. Let's just say that has been my experience. But does that mean we can do everything? And I think that has become an illusion that we have actually bought into. And I think that is part of the problem that we have, a woman versus a woman. That we have bought into that illusion that we can do everything. And what we do is we're trying to live up to what we are roaring for. And when we try to live up to something that we're roaring for, but it's not pure or it's not something we can actually do, that's where we start to lose ourselves, right? If you get a woman trying to do everything, sit down with them at the end of the day and ask them how they're feeling about themselves. Ask them who they are. Ask them if they had that self-care. Ask them if they remember the last time maybe they took a shower because they were running around trying to do everything, because this is what they have actually bought into. What about, can we do the things that we love? Yes, we can. Are we powerful in any one thing that we can do? Absolutely. But do everything, that's a little, for me, and from what I have experienced, from being around a lot of women in my life, is an illusion that we have bought into. And that illusion has caused massive pressure on us. Massive. And when I say pressure, I'm talking about judgment, and I'm talking about acceptance. Because for us women, another threat, a threat that is a threat to us in our lives is another woman. It's not a man. We are not threatened by men. We are, of course, there's other situations, but when it comes to just everyday life and our energy, we are threatened more by another woman and not by another man. So and why? We are a lot harsher on each other. There's big judgment, lack of acceptance, right? And let's put it this way. Take a room full of men. This is an example, just to take a room full of men. And again, this is not about what's right or wrong. I'm talking about pure energy of the goddess, because this is what you're asking me. And a room full of men, a woman walks in, one woman, let's say a room full of 50 men, and one woman walks into that room. You will not find one man judging her. You will only think that one of the men will say, who is that and why is she here? But if you get this one woman walking into a room full of women, many of them will have something to say about her. Oh, who is she? Where does she come from? Oh my God, what is she wearing? What is she doing here? Look at her hair. I've never seen her before. Does someone know? And it is almost like right there, the judgment begins. And meanwhile, this woman she just wants friends. She's just walking into a room. She just wants to be around other goddesses. And so we have to strengthen our power within ourselves, that we can't buy into this illusion that we can do everything. And when you think you can do everything, you have to ask yourself, why? Why do you need to do everything? Why can we not honor the role of the masculine energy on our planet to allow them to provide us with their energy so we can go on and create whatever we want to create and be and be there and show our kindness and show our love and show our nurturing and all this kind of stuff. Because we can't do, and this part is important because there's many women out there that are stuck in this situation. We can't do what a man does, and a man can't do what we do. And that's just our energy, and that's our purpose. This is we have roles in our lives. Yes, we have energetic roles on this planet, and we're forgetting that. And the moment the goddess tries to move into the role of the masculine, so if you get a mother, or if you get a mother with her child, she's a single mother, there's no dad there, and she's like, well, I don't need a man, I'm going to be on my own, I'm going to do this. And there's many women out there, and there's many situations. Or we get that one woman that works in a office place that's prominently all men. By the way, you won't find that nowadays, because the men are too scared of us, and that is a true thing. So, but if there's one woman working at this company that are all men, the woman to fit in will become more like the man. She will want to become more like the man to fit in. And she will start to try to muster up this masculine energy within her to try to fit in. And when she does that, she loses herself as a goddess. She forgets who she is. She forgets that she has the leading power, even though there's 5 men in the room and she's the only woman. She forgets that she is the goddess and that she can set the tone. And yes, are women good at telling men what they need to do? Yes, we are. And we have to be clear. And most of the time we're not. But that goddess loses herself. She really does. So then after you ask, where's the goddess?
Very powerful, very powerful. Just that reminder, you know, of honoring the masculine and honoring the goddess, and then we can have unity and peace, not just within us, but within the whole planet. I mean, you know, we could shift to a place of peace just in, you know, a few years if we could all master this.
Right. Yes. And if we want to march, if we want to march and make a difference, because if we march in kindness and we don't show hatred and anger, see, the hatred and anger are coming from past issues or situations that any one woman has had in her life that is still within her. And marching saying, I hate you, don't need you, or what it may be, that woman is in pain. That goddess is in pain. She's hurt. Marching is not going to heal her. It's not going to do anything to her other than make her more angry and more upset. So the goddess needs to heal that, needs to understand, who am I and what am I here to do? But if us goddesses want to march and we want to make a difference, let's heal. Let's find our power. Know thyself, know who you are. And we can march in unity, together in unity, spreading the same light, spreading the same message. So when we spread that message, peace or unity with all, then we will have, I guarantee you, unity with all. Because once we have that clarity, many things won't even matter anymore. They won't. But we need to heal the hurt and the pain within us before we can say, yes, let's go march. Because we need to be stable and strong within making that big shift of pain and hatred and all that kind of stuff and turn it into love and kindness.
Thank you. Now, Davina, Franca, we've actually run quite a lot over time, and I want to just keep chatting, but I wonder if I know I'm getting you live on camera now saying this. I know I'm being very naughty about this, but would you consider doing a part 2? Because I know I'd really like to ask you about the goddess and working with children and such like. So could I, get your yes on camera?
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, right. You're getting other people to witness it, Kate. Now I understand.
I'm using my goddess power, Davina.
Yes, you are. It's coming through the screen. It's coming through the screen.
Oh my goodness, it has been absolutely amazing. We have had comment after comment after comment. I've been glancing all the way, and people are just so grateful and having those aha moments. And we've had both men and women cheering on as you speak. And so thank you. I think this is a subject that was just really needed right now, really needed to talk about. So thank you once again, Davina Franca, and I hope that we can get you for this part 2 very soon.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Kate, for having me. And thank you, everyone out there. Thank you.
Take care, everyone. Goodbye.
Till next time.